Amazon. And
yes, Chris, Amazon and Hyundai have launched a strategic partnership that includes selling cars on Amazon.com in 2024. According to an Amazon press release, the newly announced partnership includes 3 key elements. First, beginning in 2024, auto dealers for the first time will be able to sell vehicles in Amazon's US store, and Hyundai will be the first brand available for customers to purchase. Second, Hyundai has selected AWS as its preferred cloud provider. And third, and finally, next generation Hyundai vehicles will be even more responsive and interactive because they will also come with Alexa already built in. Chris, don't get comfortable because we are already kicking things off with the A&M put you on the spot question.
oh, wow.
They are going right for it this morning. First question, they want to know, while there are a few different components to the Hyundai Amazon partnership, the ability to buy vehicles on Amazon.com is the most eye-catching one.
Yes.
Chris, what needs to be true for this to work for consumers, for Hyundai, and for Amazon?
Wow. Oh man, that's why I love having this A&M as a partner, because they take the headlines. Like today, I always do this thing in my head, Ann, where like I try to predict which headline they're going to ask the question about, and this was not the one I thought they would pick at all.
Yeah.
And they went right for it, and they expanded the whole conversation that I was planning to have on this, and so kudos to them for doing that. So, to answer that question specifically, I think there are 2 things Amazon has to do really well.
Okay.
The first one, which is outlined in the announcement, is that there's an actual connection with the dealer.
Yep.
So I start to think about this. I just think this is the natural evolution of buy online, pick up in store, but for an automobile. Only in this case, the store is the dealership. That's all we're talking about here cognitively. So I think it's really smart that they're thinking about the dealer as part of this. The second part, I think, and I'm waiting to hear what you think about this, because you just bought a car like a week ago and you were talking to me about how horrible the experience was, and you were hoping somebody would go online and fix this or come up with a new way of doing this. So I'm curious to hear what you think. But for me, the second part is the pricing and the paperwork. They have to be transparent. They have to be quick, so that you just go into the dealer, you inspect the goods like you're picking up your online order, you click buy in some way, shape, or form to close a deal, and you're off, and there you go. And those are the key points I think that are required for this to work. The other point last point I would make is I love the partner, Ann. I think
really? Okay.
Yes, I think Hyundai is the exact right partner to do this with. It's utilitarian. It's kind of the basic B of cars, which is exactly how I think about Amazon. And there's no slight in that. I think
that's true. There's no
exactly
no frills.
What Amazon is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the white T-shirt of cars. Yeah.
It is. So like, I think it's a great marriage, and it's the perfect perfect company to start with. And it's a new big business for Amazon to disrupt. It's bold. It's a beautiful move. I actually legitimately might consider making my next purchase a Hyundai, and actually potentially showing our OmniTalk listeners how this process works from start to finish, depending on when I need to purchase my next car, Ann.
I feel like the pronunciation is so, like, can we get, it's Hyundai.
Hyundai. I don't know.
I looked it up and it was
I thought that's what I was saying, but I don't know. But
I don't know. Well,
but what do you think? I mean,
you know what we're talking about. Yeah,
I mean, you have more firsthand experience. You just went through this process. So
yes.
Like, do you like this idea? Do you think it has legs? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, this is like the thing I am most thankful for this Thanksgiving. I was just talking about it 2 podcasts ago, how like I would eliminate the whole car buying process. It is terrible. And I really think that this is the first step. I mean, you call it out to answer A&M's question, for the consumer, you remove the haggling and the BS associated with the car buying process. And I think more importantly, Chris, like for me, I liken this to the Buy with Prime story we were talking about last week, because I think that there's also a level of comfort that people have purchasing something from Amazon. Like Carvana's been doing this, CarMax has been doing this. And now I think you have somebody that you have a relationship with already. You have trust in that Amazon is going to make sure that this process is as smooth as possible. And my other question here is, can you use a credit card to buy the car? Because they say that you handle financing in the Amazon transaction. Like, is Amazon going to get into car financing now as another arm of business, like in order to improve things? I mean, like we could only put so much money on a credit card to get points. It's a major purchase. Like we wanted to try to see if we could get something from doing that, and they limit that across the board at every dealership we talk to. So I think that there's some real potential there for Amazon in terms of other sources of revenue and a customer who's very comfortable with them. I think the thing though for Amazon, which is, well, I'll conclude with answering A&M's question in this. For Amazon, to me, they are getting so much more data now about us as consumers in a place where we spend a lot of time that has typically, I mean, before this, it was really a black box to Amazon. I mean, they had what we were doing on our phones or on our mobile devices, but now they have Alexa that's going to be accessible to us at any point in time. They're going to be able to correlate data about where we're driving, for how long, even getting more of a sense of our daily habits. But I think, this is where I get my like tinfoil hat on too, where I'm a little bit like, okay, you think of all the conversations too that happen in these cars, and is Alexa going to be listening, and how is Alexa going to play into this whole thing? So the Alexa part for me is like, oh, wow, this could go in a whole variety of ways for Amazon. But I think it truly is going to be an overall positive experience for everyone involved.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's a really great point too, because it sounds like that's all built in, right? That's the quote exactly. Like regardless of whether you buy the car from Amazon or not, it'll be built into all Hyundais that are sold. So it's really interesting. Yeah, and the other point I'd make too, Ann, is like, Amazon wrote the press release for how they want this experience to be, right? And then they worked backwards to design it and found, and that's why I think the partner is key on this, to just find the right partner that could step into it first with them, with that press release in mind. So I don't know. I think this thing has legs. So the other point too is, this outside your home, the car's the biggest purchase you make. So like this is a huge business for Amazon to go in and potentially disrupt. So